I was driving late, a long stretch of highway cutting through empty countryside. My name's Alex, just me, a half-empty thermos, and a car that rattled like it might fall apart at any moment. I was headed to a friend's cabin for the weekend, a simple plan to escape the city, but the fog rolled in faster than I expected. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. The GPS had long since died, my phone battery hovering near zero. I didn't know the roads, didn't know the turns. All I knew was that I had to keep going. That's when I saw it. A dim glow ahead, a cluster of lights, like a town resting quietly in the mist. Perfectly placed, perfectly still, and even from a distance, it felt like it had been waiting for me. I had never planned to drive this late. My phone was dead, GPS was useless, I had no map, only instinct and a hunger for warmth, for a place to rest. The first house I passed had curtains drawn, but a light shone through the crack in the door. The street itself was silent, as if sound had been swallowed whole. Not a single car, not a single stray dog, not even the wind stirred. I slowed, careful, the tires crunching against the gravel, and then the headlights caught something that made me freeze. A man standing in the middle of the road, no expression on his face, pale skin, dark coat, and eyes that seemed too sharp, too knowing. "You're here again," he said. His voice wasn't raised, but it pierced through the fog like a blade. I don't think so," I stammered. "You do," he said, turning and walking back toward the town. "We've been waiting." And just like that, he vanished into the mist. I told myself I was tired. I must have taken a wrong turn. Maybe I was hallucinating. But the town, the lights, they felt real, too real to ignore. I drove in, carefully, noticing the streets were clean. Streets that didn't exist on any map I'd ever seen. The houses were identical, white-trimmed windows, doors slightly ajar, though no one appeared in sight. And then I heard it. A bell. Not a church bell, not a warning, but a chime, soft, echoing, moving closer. It wasn't mechanical. It wasn't coming from the street. It was inside my head. I stopped at what looked like the town square. A fountain, dry, cracked, benches aligned perfectly around it, and a sign, "Welcome back." I froze. Back. I hadn't been here, at least not that I could remember. A figure appeared on the other side of the square. A woman, old, with hair like silver mist and eyes that glimmered with recognition. "You're late," she said. I think I'm lost," I replied. "No," she said softly. "You're right on time. You know this place." Her words were wrong, impossible. I had never been here. People started appearing, all kinds, old men, children, couples walking hand in hand. They didn't rush, they didn't glance at me with surprise, just recognition, like I belonged. "You remember," a child said, "from before." I don't remember," I said. "You will," another voice corrected. And then the impossible happened. A mirror on the side of a building reflected me, or someone like me. I wasn't moving in the reflection. I was smiling at the town, nodding like I belonged there. I ran. I ran down alleys, streets, corners, but the town didn't end. Every turn led me deeper. Houses repeated themselves, streets curved back on themselves, trees bent unnaturally, branches scraping against the fog-heavy sky, yet never leaving marks on the ground. I could hear footsteps behind me, not running, walking, calm, patient. "You always come back," they whispered all around me. I couldn't look. I didn't want to see what followed. Hours or minutes, I don't know how long I had been running. I finally collapsed on a stoop. The town was quiet again, waiting, watching. I tried to think of a plan. I needed light. I needed escape. But the street lamps weren't lamps at all. They were glowing figures, tall, thin, human-shaped, standing perfectly still and glowing with the faint warmth of candlelight. Every time I blinked, they moved closer, not stepping, not walking, but somehow approaching. The fog thickened, swallowing the edges of my vision, and then I saw it, the clock tower, small, black, crooked, its face blank, but the hands ticked, backwards, slowly, deliberately. A voice came from the tower, low and resonant. "Time is optional here. You are ours now." I tried to run again, but the streets had changed. Houses now faced inward. Doors I'd passed earlier were now facing me. Windows revealed rooms I didn't recognize, rooms that felt like mine. And the worst part, I felt remembered. My memories shifting, slipping, blending with the town. Scenes I hadn't lived appeared in my mind. I had breakfast in one of those kitchens, walked the streets, talked to people whose names I now somehow knew. I understood then. This wasn't a town I had found. It was a town that had found me. And it only exists at night. Every night, every fog, every wrong turn. I had wandered here once. I had walked these streets before, though I couldn't remember. And now I was back. Waiting wasn't unnecessary. They didn't wait. They remembered. They had me written into their map, into their streets, into their schedule. I tried one last thing. I ran to the edge of the town, to where the highway should have been, where reality should have resumed. It wasn't there. The highway, the woods, the world I knew, all gone. Only the town remained, stretching endlessly into fog, lights flickering, and in the distance, the figures began moving towards me again, calm, patient, familiar. "You're home," they said. "You always come back." I screamed, but in this town my voice was absorbed by the mist. I ran, turning corners, passing streets I didn't recognize, but somehow knew. And the town laughed, not out loud, but through the walls, through the air, through the very fabric of reality. And I understood. This town doesn't exist at night. It exists at night, and anyone who finds it, who stumbles into it, it already remembers them. And once it remembers you, you never leave. I've been wandering ever since. Nights blur into nights. Street names change, but the pattern is always the same. I see others now, new faces, lost drivers, curious wanderers. They glance at the glowing windows, at the streets that seem too perfect, at the figures that seem to watch. I watch them too, because if I don't, someone will notice I've been gone, and the town will decide it needs me back in full. And then I'll disappear completely, forever. Remember, if you're driving late, if the fog is heavy, if the lights flicker, don't follow the glow, and don't answer the streets that seem familiar. Because some towns only exist at night, and they never let you go once they know your face.